the right thing tonight, didn't we?
Yeah.
Now, if you've got young kids at home who've been getting into a spot of bother at their kindergarten or primary school, you might want to watch this next story, you see, because perhaps teachers have said that your son or daughter can be a bit of a troublemaker, but there could be another answer to this.
There certainly could be. Maybe you've heard the words ADHD or autism bandied about, but have you ever considered your child may be in the 5% of gifted children in this country? Plenty of kids are getting misdiagnosed, and it seems the New Zealand education system is struggling to find and help these kids and their parents. Here's Dale Owens.
Where's the hexagon? I don't know where the hexagon is. Where is it? Can you see it?
Xavier has just turned 3.
What about an octagon?
He's been labelled a gifted child, and it's not hard to see why.
What about a rhombus? Oh, good job. I have to say, that is pretty amazing. I don't even recognise half these shapes.
And this little guy certainly knows his triangles from his squares.
What shapes have we got here then?
So he's as bright as a button. That's a good thing, right?
Pretty busy and naughty, very, very naughty boy.
For Xavier's mum, Steffi, having a gifted child is proving hard work.
Very difficult to communicate with him, because he never listened to me.
And these are classic symptoms of the 5% of children in this country officially diagnosed as gifted.
We've noticed that Mum has said that he was a little bit naughty last night. These are the things that frustrate her, and those were the key signs to us that we need to have a closer look to see in his behaviour.
A lack of concentration and focus and disruptive behaviour is getting many of these kids in our kindergartens and primary schools totally misdiagnosed.
He has been named ADHD or autistic or anything like that, and I didn't see that in him. I just saw a very, very curious little 2-year-old that just the world was his oyster.
They can be well in advance of their peers, but still incredibly perhaps immature socially or emotionally, and often ADD, ADHD are looked at as, oh, is this a way that we can solve whatever these problems these kids are having?
Deb Walker is the CEO at New Zealand's Centre for Gifted Education. She makes it her business to identify and support highly intelligent kids across the country. So what exactly makes a gifted child?
What we're looking for is kids who are curious. And all little kids are curious, they're always asking questions, but our gifted kids ask more questions. They often have a really developed memory, they'll never forget anything that you tell them.
Can you find me a star anywhere?
One of Deb Walker's main concerns is a lack of a consolidated approach to spotting and planning for these children.
Being gifted isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are, and there's a whole social and emotional side to these children that need support, and with very little teacher training in New Zealand to do with giftedness.
Scott grabbed his last grappling hook and shot it out.
One early childhood centre keeping an eye out for these high-performing, yet on the surface difficult youngsters is Lighthouse on Auckland's North Shore.
Who drives Thunderbird 2?
4-year-old Dylan is another who's picked up the gifted tag. He's got a near-on photographic memory. He's known the full alphabet for years.
He's very bright, picks things up very quickly, especially like, for instance, if you're reading a book. He remembers straight away. If you've read it once, he remembers exactly what you've said.
But Dylan's another who's struggled to fit into the system.
He can get pretty frustrated at times. Yeah, you've got to have a knack to deal with him when he gets like that, and I know him quite well.
So the message to parents, if your child seems difficult, you may not have a problem, just a genius.
When we look at kids and we look at these gifted kids and they're not behaving the way we think they might behave, we automatically look at what could be wrong rather than what possibly might be right.
I don't ever remember being accused of being gifted.
I was, actually. I was an absolutely gifted child. I don't know, actually, what happened was...
And then you ended up here.
Yeah, how did that happen? No, my parents sent me to a child psychologist when I was 6 because I was so naughty, and they just said, she's too bright, she's bored at school.
Oh, I was just a little shit.
I believe that. I believe that 100%. Christchurch's Cathedral